What's up guys, this is Ryan and Eric from Tower Reviews, and today we're going to be making a video going over our opinions on the Apple event that occurred last week. We're mainly going to be talking about the iPads. Actually, that's pretty much all we're going to cover. We'll touch on what else came out. They released some new Macs. They announced the release date for Mavericks, along with their usual stats on all their devices and things of that nature. But today we're going to be talking about the iPads, as I already mentioned. So we're going to be basically telling you what we think you should buy based on the new iPads that came out. So I'm going to be talking about the iPad Air, which is of course the newest version of the iPad. It's the 9.7-inch version. They decided to change up the name a little bit because of the obviously thinner design. So the iPad Air is now 7.5 millimeters thin, which is 20% thinner than the previous iPad. So that does justify the Air name in my opinion. It's definitely a lot thinner. You have a 43% thinner bezel as well, so it sort of looks like the iPad Mini, which is what many people predicted before the iPad Air was even announced. So the form factor alone is definitely very nice. It's also only 1 pound now, so it's 0.4 pounds lighter than the iPad 4. So again, the form factor is very nice, and I think that alone is a reason to upgrade from the previous iPads. Just because it's going to be like a completely different tablet. I think it's the thinnest and lightest full-size tablet on the market today. Along with that thin design, you have the same 5-megapixel iSight camera, 1080p FaceTime camera, so no upgrades there. So that's definitely not a reason to upgrade if you're okay with the cameras on your devices. It has the same 10-hour battery life as the iPad 4th generation, so it's good to see that the iPad's battery life has stayed the same, even though that the design is so much thinner. So obviously there's a smaller battery in it now. In terms of internal specs, we have the Apple A7 chip along with the M7 Motion coprocessor. So that's the same 64-bit architecture chip that's in the iPhone 5S. So we should definitely be seeing a lot better performing iPad apps. It's 8 times faster than the original iPad in terms of CPU performance and 72 times better in graphics performance. So if you have the original iPad, that's your cue right there to upgrade right now. You also have some new colors. It's the silver and white versions that we've seen on all the previous Apple devices. So it's the back is actually going to be different on the 2 different iPads, and the second option is space gray and black. So it's going to be like the iPhone 5S. Just looking at those things that I mentioned, the new design and the upgraded internals, those are really the main 2 reasons to upgrade right there. If you're satisfied with those in your iPad, then there's really no reason to upgrade. If you have the iPad 1, then I definitely think it's a good reason to upgrade because that's the only iPad that doesn't get the latest version of the operating system. If you have any other tablet and you're satisfied with the performance and everything, then I would definitely say keep it. And they kept the iPad 2 around, oddly enough, for $400, which is just crazy considering you can buy an iPad 4 refurbished for cheaper than that. So I'm not really sure why they did that. I'm guessing because it doesn't have a Retina display, so it's easier to produce and sort of more of an industrial tablet for education and business. That's about it on my opinions on the iPad Air. I definitely think it was a pretty solid update. It stays at the same $499 price point. It's still pretty expensive, but you're going to get some really good hardware and same pretty good software experience with 475,000 dedicated iPad apps on the app. So now we're going to hand it on over to Eric, and he's going to talk about the new iPad Mini and give you his thoughts and opinions on that, and tell you which one he thinks you should buy.
Okay, so with the iPad Mini, they only upgraded a few things. The iPad Mini was already pioneering the design for the iPad when it came out. So the iPad Air is following in the footsteps of the Mini. So the design-wise, it stayed pretty much the same. The only thing that has changed with the design is it's now offered in the space gray and the silver colors, which is pretty similar to the colors of the previous iPad Mini, but again, you have that little bit of a difference, so that's something to think about. What they mainly focused on is the Retina display. Obviously, we were all expecting it, and it was all something that was a little bit of a letdown when it wasn't implemented in the first iPad Mini. So now we have the 7.9-inch Retina display with the same 2048 by 1536 resolution as the larger 9.7-inch iPad, which gives you a pixel density of 326 pixels per inch. So if you've ever seen the iPad 4, iPad 3, whatever weird names they have associated with those generations, and you've seen how vibrant that screen is, this screen's going to be just as vibrant, but it's going to have even a higher pixel density, so it's going to look great. The other thing that they went ahead and did is they put the A7 chip in it, so this is going to be a very powerful little tablet. It's also coupled with the M7 Motion coprocessor, so it's just as powerful as the iPhone 5S and the iPad Air. So it's going to be no slacker in performance. The one thing that did suffer a little bit with the iPad mini though is the price point. It went up to $400, which kind of moves it onto a different level than that Nexus 7 second generation or other tablets in that budget price range. So you still can get your hands on a regular iPad mini for a reduced price of $300 from the $330 that they originally offered it for. But that's definitely going to be something to think about. This is now a premium tablet, and it's differentiated itself from the rest of the smaller screen tablet market. Again, you have 475,000 apps, which Ryan talked about earlier. That's unparalleled by any other app store. I mean, the quality of the apps as well as the quantity. And then it also talks about having advanced wireless, which they always have these little things that they add that really you're not going to see a big difference. It's no reason to upgrade. So getting down to my opinions on whether to upgrade or not. If you have the original iPad mini, you have to really think about it because the iPad mini was a little bit dated when it came out. It does have the same specifications as the iPad 2, so it is a little bit behind of the other iPads and iDevices out with iOS 7 right now. So it might be good to kind of dump the iPad mini, get as much money as you can with any of these new trade-in services. They're getting really popular, and then just splurge a little bit and get the iPad with Retina display, because it's definitely going to be worth it. It's going to be powerful. If you're happy with your iPad mini, your original one, then stick with it. If you are an owner of a Nexus 7 or another budget tablet like that, and if you're as well happy with that, then there's no reason to upgrade because they're all very powerful tablets, and this is just kind of going over the top. So if you want the best on the market, go ahead and upgrade. But if you are happy with what you have now, go ahead and stick with it. I also wanted to touch on the fact that they released new smart covers. Apple's got this whole thing this year with new cases that are not that great, but I guess...
And way overpriced.
And way overpriced, exactly. So we got an $80 smart case, which you can probably get a comparable, if not better one on Amazon in 5 seconds for 1/3 of the price, even less maybe. And then you have the smart cover, which does absolutely nothing to protect the iPad at all, for $50 or $49.99, whatever you want to look at it. So if you want to go ahead and splurge, go ahead and just get every iPad and every case and just have a really unprotected iPad. That's what I would say you would do if you want to spend a lot of money and get the least amount for your money.
What do you say to the people who want to go out and buy an iPad mini first generation? For a cheaper price?
If it's for your kids, or if you're a very light user, you're just getting into the market, you're not going to realize the performance gap, or you're not going to care that it's going to be obsolete in a pretty short period of time, and go ahead and buy the regular iPad, or the original iPad mini rather. But if you are a heavy iPad user and you are used to having that top of the line product and you want something that's going to last you into the future, you're going to have to go ahead and buy the iPad mini with Retina display, because that's going to give you the power now that's going to get you through the next updates that Apple comes out with, the iOS 8, 9, 10, 14, whatever you want to do.
Alright guys, I think that's about it for this video. I think we have expressed all of our opinions on the new iPads and hopefully have shared some of that knowledge with you guys. So leave a comment below about what you think about the new iPads. Leave a like below and subscribe for future videos. Thanks for watching.